In a twist even Hollywood wouldn't predict, the WNBA's redemption arc for Indiana hits its climax. Star veteran Emma Meesseman is now circling a signing with the Fever, just as DeWanna Bonner's midseason exit looks like the mistake of the century. What happens next isn't just about talent. It's a story about respect, timing, legacy, and the merciless calculus of professional sports. Fire DeWanna Bonner's vanishing act. A reputation unravels. DeWanna Bonner entered Indiana with history. Two-time WNBA champion, seasoned vet, a steady locker room force. But instead of growing with the Fever's youthful core, she vanished. No trade request. No injury announcement. No goodbye speech. Just a mid-season breakup that sent shockwaves through the league. Word got around fast. Unprofessional, selfish, too impulsive. More than one front office quietly grumbled that a player who quits without warning makes themselves a risk, no matter how big the resume. In the tight-knit WNBA, reputation is currency, and Bonner spent hers fast and publicly. Now, weeks later, as free agents make choices, as rosters fill, Bonner's phone is eerily silent. No calls, no offers. Even her former team, now blossoming, won't revisit a fractured trust that once obliterated the locker room equilibrium she left behind. Glowing star Emma Meesseman, the veteran Fever dream. Enter Emma Meesseman, the finals MVP with calm precision, global vision, and veteran intelligence. Known as a versatile forward who can stretch the floor, anchor the defense, and read the game like a chess master, Meesseman isn't just a name on a face. She's a one-stop winning prescription. The Fever are rebuilding their DNA around Caitlin Clark. Tactical brilliance, transcendent marketing value, and unstoppable charisma. But Clark needs a partner. Someone who can anchor the second unit, guard multiple positions, close out games, and whisper calm the chaos of expectations. Meesseman fits the blueprint to perfection. Her rumored public interest in Indiana tells us she's bought into the franchise's leap. From floundering to finalists, direct hit culture shift, building a legacy one signature at a time. Every signing sends a cultural message. Bonner's departure screamed instability and disconnection. Meesseman's rumored move? It says, we're serious. Indiana's brass has tripled down on a transformation. Rookie phenom, veteran anchor, winning systems, transparent communication. Layers of skill, experience, and psychological fortitude stacked purposely for the long haul. If Meesseman inks a deal, she won't be just another roster piece. She'll be a statement. The Fever is now a destination. The league has a new power axis. Brain spot the contrast. Patience versus impulse. Bonner's move was emotional and immediate, but impulsiveness rarely builds dynasties. Teams that endure are built on collaborative foresight, measure ambition, flexibility, long-term vision. Contrast that with Meesseman, veteran, studied, strategic. She's not just joining a team, she's sculpting it, helping cultivate a culture where rookies flourish and coaching strategies become multidimensional. If she lands in Indiana, Meesseman brings more than skill. She brings a blueprint for longevity, one that Bonner scrapped a moment of misread impulse. Basketball, the roster dominoes, how one move reshapes everything. Bonner's exit freed a roster spot, a chance the Fever didn't waste. Now they're in position to add multiple components: wing spacing, talent, and leadership, new pick-and-pop threats, defensive cohesion across all 5 positions, depth that survives injuries, foul trouble, and long playoff stretches. Meesseman's presence wouldn't just fill a void, it would multiply effectiveness. She's a draft and develop bridge between Clark's generational ceiling and the rest of the roster. Money-bag business of trust and branding in a star-driven era. Here's the reality. Meesseman brings cachet. Titles. A European career with Olympic success. That's international value. Tickets, fans, viewers, merchandise. She's a brand extension the Fever haven't had before. Bonner walked away. Now, the organization offers a new narrative. This is a franchise that keeps records, builds, evolves, and earns trust. Their message to fans, sponsors, and recruits: you're signing with something real, stable, and future-focused. Warning: why Bonner's regret isn't just personal, but structural. Bonner's story offers lessons far bigger than herself. Character matters in a small league. One unscheduled departure can override decades of contribution. Ego gambits don't work. Teams don't reward drama when commitment is the cornerstone. Smart organizations plan for beyond today. Veterans who uplift rather than upstage are chosen over grandees who leave chaos in their wake. Meesseman's trajectory proves it. Thoughtful, collaborative, strategic. Those are the players franchises invest in. Globe showing Europe, Africa the bigger image. WNBA at a crossroads. This isn't just a local story. Across the WNBA, leaders are watching. How the Fever handle this moment. Bonner's void and Meesseman's arrival sets a precedent. It tells future free agents that behavior, not just basketball, is evaluated. That adaptability beats headline hijacks. Caitlin Clark's star power gave Indiana a leap. Now they're poised to solidify it and forge new identity beyond individual brilliance. Meesseman helps build a legacy around that. The closing thoughts, choosing legacy over limelight. Every athlete has a crossroad. Bonner chose departure. Meesseman likely chooses alignment. One story ends with silence on the market, rumors of regret. The other begins just as a dynasty becomes possible in the Midwest. If the Fever land Meesseman and she embraces the team's vision, on and off the court, they gain more than a player. They win an ethos, long-term ambition coached by character, intelligence, and shared purpose. That's how franchises win championships. And that's how women's basketball keeps stepping forward, together, not alone. 1. A community recharged, Indiana's revival. Indiana isn't just witnessing a team soar, it's seeing a state push off from anonymity. Since Caitlin Clark's rookie year, ticket demand spiked, merch flew off the shelves, and local businesses buzz around Fever game nights. Restaurants added Clark specials. Bars sold out viewing parties. The ripple effect elevated not just a franchise, but a city hungry for a winner. Now, add Emma Meesseman to the equation and expect the ripple to turn into a tidal wave. Her European recognition, her calm professionalism, and her championship pedigree add credibility. Indiana isn't just becoming a sports town, it's becoming a destination. Families plan vacations around games. Youth leagues thrive. The Fever brand is evolving from hopeful to hallmark. Contrast that with what Bonner left behind, a fan base confused and players questioning stability. The difference isn't minor, it's generational. 2. Opposition playbooks, how other WNBA teams react. News of Meesseman circling Indiana hasn't just lit up the Fever front office. It's sent shockwaves across the league. Opponents are redrawing scouting reports. Coaches in Las Vegas, Seattle, and New York are tweaking defensive sets. They now must plan for a dual threat at wing. Clark breaking ankles and Meesseman taking over crunch time. That's not all. Teams are hedging personnel bets, exploring veteran signings of their own, or shifting rookie rotations to offset Indiana's new balance. Agents everywhere are recalculating value. Where once Clark alone drew contract offers, now pairing her with Meesseman could forge a new gold standard. The Fever aren't just improving, they're setting a blueprint. And now every franchise is trying to read it. 3. Player psychology, the pressure multiplier. Let's talk mental load. When you pair a young star with a veteran champion, you don't just change lineups. You intensify focus. You increase expectations. And you magnify pressure. Caitlin Clark will feel this shift. It's one thing to lead a team craving legitimacy. It's another to lead one poised for a deep playoff run. Mistakes that once drew empathetic hums from the crowd may now trigger gasps. But with Meesseman beside her, Clark gains a confidant, a voice of calm who's been through every trial. And that's priceless. On the flip side, imagine Meesseman's mindset, joining a young squad, knowing your reputation precedes you, and being watched game after game. That's pressure. It requires humility, focus, and emotional intelligence. She'll face expectations to justify her signing, to validate her arrival, and to serve as the team's emotional anchor. Success or stumble, they'll both be on display. 4. Coaching evolution, strategy in real time. Indiana coach Christie's side suddenly has access to a luxury most teams envy. Interchangeable two-way wings who can shuttle between playmaking, shooting, defending, and closing minutes. That flexibility is more than tactical. It's transformational. Expect sides to experiment. Small ball lineups. With Clark and Meesseman together, you can flood the floor with spacing and pace. Match down sets. Use Meesseman to guard bigger players, freeing Clark to attack from the wing. Clutch time switches. Their ability to interchange and crunch allows new offensive sets under pressure. As other teams struggle to adjust, Indiana will rewrite halftime adjustments in real time. The learning curve could be steep. Opponents adapting to this versatility on fly will bookend growth moments for the Fever. Each game becomes a mini clinic on evolving WNBA strategy. 5. Financial implications. ROI in a star-heavy market. Let's get real. Sports is business. Signing Meesseman isn't just about basketball. It's about ROI. Tickets will surge further. Corporate seats will fill. Local TV ad slots will double in value. Add in celebrity guests. Ignite festival-style game nights. License more merch. Digital content demand grows. The Fever brand begins to punch above its salary cap range. Sponsors who once waited now lean in. Naming rights become table conversation. Youth camp sell out. Every dollar invested becomes a ripple, multiplied across community, broadcast, tourism, and brand activation. Meanwhile, Bonner's financial winds have calmed. Without a team, without a market, Peerless Resumes only carries so far in a league built on momentum. The contrast between her contract market and Meesseman's expected deal? It's not just numbers, it's trajectory. 6. Rookie perspectives. Teammates on the rise. Beyond the star pairing, consider the effect on secondary players. Young athletes like Aaliyah Boston, Ryan Howard, and Sophie Cunningham suddenly see clear paths for growth. They witness a veteran model. How to speak under pressure, sustain composure, play through playoff intensity. They'll be mentored not just on set plays, but on leadership, drive, and adapting to spotlight. Clark's meteoric rise will be matched with Meesseman's measured seasoning. Together, they exemplify aspirational pathways. Superstar potential plus veteran wisdom equals championship culture. That dynamic uplifts everyone, not through spotlight, but through shared purpose. 7. Comparative branding, legacy versus opportunity. This is about branding storylines. Bonner had legacy. 3-time champ, veteran authority, but she walked. No narrative, no brand loyalty, no Casa in Indiana's rising story. Meesseman, on the other hand, lands as veteran past, future present, credibility builder. Pinned to that, every press conference, social chef appearance, sponsor outtake, bench huddle, they become part of the rebrand. Meesseman builds a brand with a team. Bonner walked away from it. In the attention economy of modern women's sports, that distinction matters more than reputation points. It determines relevance. 8. League-wide impact. Why this matters beyond Indiana. Meesseman's signing, if it happens, will be more than a local triumph. It'll shift league narratives. Suddenly, WNBA rosters emphasize pairing young stars with veteran leaders, not just to check boxes, but because it works. Weaving narrative arcs, rookie surge plus veteran voice, will become preferred strategic formula. Teams will adopt apprenticeship models. Contracts will be evaluated through culture fit lenses more than salary alone. Free agent pitches will sell who you play with, not just who you play for. And as the Fever lean in, other franchises will scramble to replicate. The ripple becomes a wave. 9. The media narrative, headlines, documentaries, and momentum. We're entering an era of deeper storytelling. The Carter records, The Last Dance. Viewers want context. They want emotional investment. Clark Meesseman has a formula. Breakout rookie, calm veteran, aspiring coach, supportive fans. If Indiana rolls this narrative well, with documentary clips, behind-the-scenes features, player vlogs, they'll not only win games, they'll own hearts. Bonner's exit? That becomes a cautionary bureau clip, a quiet reminder of how quickly opportunities fade when you step aside. Expect coverage. ESPN 30 for 30 quick. Amazon docuseries. Season-long platforms. Indiana's season becomes entertainment. People don't just watch the games, they relive them. 10. Final analysis. What this means for WNBA's futures. We're at a tipping point. Women's basketball is claiming its space, and the Fever storyline is among the most compelling. If Meesseman joins, it will reshape the league for years. Player development. Pairing formulas become league strategy. Contract stratagems. Veteran value is measured in mentorship as well as stats. Franchise growth. Markets like Indiana show mid-sized cities can be major league incubators. Marketing models. Long-form storytelling becomes table stakes. Competitive fairness. Roster construction shifts to avoid rookie/veteran imbalances. If the Fever thread the needle, stay competitive, manage expectations, deliver culturally and commercially, they could become the case study in modern sports leadership. 1. The fallout in Phoenix. A team dodging a bullet? Let's rewind for a second, because remember, Dana Bonner didn't just quit the Fever. She tried to orchestrate a soft landing with the Phoenix Mercury. Yep, the plan was to quietly slip out the back door in Indiana and waltz into the sunny arms of a title-hunting team featuring her longtime partner, Alyssa Thomas. But here's the twist. Phoenix didn't bite. And now, looking back, that might have been the best move Phoenix didn't make. While Bonner was cooling off and collecting DMPs, Phoenix surged. Their chemistry clicked, their locker room stayed drama-free, and their front office was praised for prioritizing performance over personal preference. Bonner's brand of veteran chaos didn't fit their energy. Phoenix avoided what could have been a disastrous mid-season culture clash. Bonner's exit was supposed to spark a new chapter. Instead, it just slammed a door that wasn't even open. 2. Indiana Fever's redemption arc. From bottom to blueprint. 3 seasons ago, Indiana was a league afterthought. They were the easy W on every team schedule, a rebuilding roster, a tired fan base, and an empty arena echoing with what-ifs. Then came the draft. Then came Caitlin Clark. Then came a front office that actually had a vision. Now, they're not just competitive. They're strategic. They're rebuilding with intention. Their core is young but hungry, and every move, especially the potential Meesseman signing, feels like a piece in a carefully planned chess game. Bonner's departure was chaos. Meesseman's arrival is calculus. That's the difference between scrambling and building, between panic and planning. 3. WNBA locker room politics. Quiet whispers, loud statements. Don't be fooled. Players talk. And in the hyper-connected, social-savvy world of modern sports, word travels fast. When Bonner bailed, you better believe it wasn't just fans who noticed. Teammates clocked it. Opponents clocked it. So did league officials and veteran players across locker rooms. For a league that values solidarity and sacrifice, walking away mid-season without explanation hits differently. Contrast that with Meesseman's approach. Quiet, steady, no public demands, just whispers of availability and interest in Indiana. It's professional, it's respectful, and it's earned her admiration. In a league where reputations form fast and stick hard, Bonner's may now be stamped with unreliability. Meanwhile, Meesseman's re-entry is being welcomed like a queen returning to court. For the Clark factor, what Bonner couldn't handle. There's no way around it. Caitlin Clark changes everything. When Bonner signed with the Fever, she didn't anticipate the tidal wave of fame and pressure Clark would bring. Selling out arenas, national interviews, mic'd up on ESPN, social media dissecting every pass. It was overwhelming. Bonner, once a centerpiece, suddenly became a supporting cast member. And she didn't like that. Clark, for a part, never asked for crown. But when the league handed it to her, she carried it without flinching. That contrast? It's why Clark is ascendant while Bonner is absent. It's why Indiana is now building around someone who thrives under scrutiny, not one who ghosts under pressure. 5. Emma Meesseman's second act. Not a comeback, a conquest. Let's not undersell this. Meesseman coming to Indiana isn't just a transfer. It's a statement. This is a finals MVP choosing a young team. A European icon deciding the Fever have the vision, stability, and competitive juice she wants to be part of. It's a rare reversal of roles. The legend choosing the future, not the other way around. Her game? Polished. Her mindset? Elite. Her effect? Transformational. Meesseman signing won't just bring scoring or defense. It brings legitimacy. Championship DNA. She's not here to rebuild. She's here to win. And that changes the whole tone inside that locker room. 6. The Indiana blueprint. Draft, develop, deliver. Let's take a step back and admire the macro. Indiana has quietly executed one of the cleanest rebuilds in recent league history. They drafted Smart, Clark, Boston. They hired forward-thinking coaches. They built a balanced roster that doesn't rely on just one star, but complements her with spacing, defense, and grit. Now, they're attracting top-tier veterans. That's the blueprint. And here's the kicker. They didn't panic when Bonner left. They didn't flinch. They stayed the course. And they upgraded. Where some franchises would spiral after losing a vet midseason, Indiana turned it into a win that speaks volumes. 7. The Bonner silence. No statement, no story. What's maybe most baffling about Bonner's exit is how quiet it was. No farewell message. No heartfelt goodbye to fans. No Instagram post thanking teammates. Just gone. In a league that thrives on connection, visibility, and storytelling, that silence wasn't mysterious. It was alienating. It left her teammates confused, her fans frustrated, and her brand in limbo. Meanwhile, Meesseman is poised to re-enter with grace. Interviews, photo ops, team-first sound bites. Her return will be a moment, not a mess. And that's how you craft a comeback, not a controversy. 8. Front office brilliance, the stealthy surge. Give credit where it's due. Indiana's front office has been cooking, while other teams have been reactive, plugging holes mid-season with desperate trades. The Fever have been deliberate. They knew Bonner wasn't the right fit. They let her walk. They used the cap space wisely. And now they're making headlines with potential finals MVP pickup. That's not just smart, it's strategic. It shows trust in their timeline, belief in their core, and the boldness to make moves that other teams hesitate on. They're not just building a team, they're shaping a dynasty. 9. How the league reacts. Copycats and critics. Here's what's coming next. Other GMs will try to mimic Indiana's model. They'll chase big-market rookies, pair them with steady veterans, and hope for the same magic. But here's the truth. The Fever didn't luck into this. They earned it with patience, planning, and risk-taking. Meanwhile, critics of the league's handling of player movement and contracts will point to Bonner's situation as a lesson. Mid-season walkouts without penalty? That won't fly much longer. Expect new clauses, tougher fines, and more clarity on player responsibility. Bonner's exit may trigger a league-wide policy rethink. Meesseman's entry may spark a team-building revolution. 10. Looking ahead. The Fever's championship window. So what does the future look like? Let's fast forward 12 months. Indiana, with Clark and Meesseman, is sitting near the top of the standings. Boston has developed into a dominant two-way force. Mitchell is knocking down clutch shots. The Fever aren't just competitive, they're contenders. Bonner? She's either watching from the sidelines or trying to land a training camp invite. That's the fork in the road. And it all hinged on one decision. Walk away or lean in. Meesseman chose to lean in. And now Indiana may be on the brink of a title run.